Hello, hello. Happy Wednesday. Let's get everything taken care of here. How's everybody doing? No one's here yet, but people will be soon. There's Rosie. Okay, hi Lisa. Marcus announcement. Your circle is ready. Good, good. Okay, there, last step. Okay. Welcome, happy Wednesday. We are doing a circular drawing again this week, much like last week we did the fall wreath. We're doing a Halloween or spooky wreath. So have something available that you can make a circle with. This is my tried and true. I always leave it on my station. Let's see. We are going to pick a winner for the contest that was being held with Nanny Village. I'm going to do that at the end. So I have a, let's hope it works. I set it up on like a random spinner over here is my computer. So I'm going to just flip the camera again and you guys can watch it live while it selects the winner. So that's going to happen at the very end. So if you're here to just find out whether or not you won or not, you're going to have to hang out. You don't have to be present to win though. Okay, the only other announcements I guess I have is buy your stickers still. We haven't sold too many stickers. So if you want stickers, get them while they're hot. They're not really hot. Friday is a doodle sheet. Saturday is a drawing. There is a sip and draw for Patreon members only. It's never too late to become a member. To get sip and draw access, it's the $10 level. So $5 level gives you Monday access. We've been posting some of those drawings. They're pretty cute, pretty fun. And then this Saturday, we will be doing a sip and draw for patrons. So stay tuned for that. Okay, I'm just going to flip you guys around. So I decided today I'm going to do this drawing and then use my watercolor pens. I wanted to do something different than pencil. So I'm going watercolor pen. So I'm trying to get my stuff. Sorry, one second. This is what happens when I decide to stray from the norm. Then I'm never ready. Okay, let me flip you guys around. Here is our spooky wreath. You can play around with what items are on your wreath. You know, you don't have to do the hockey mask if you're not into that. Oh, goodness. I am a hot mess. This one is definitely different than the last one. I did not do a duplicate item. So where last time we had something in the center and we built up on each side and they mirrored each other. This time I didn't do that. I just put items kind of random. The only thing I duplicated was eyes. There are 2 of them. So yeah, you can kind of do this however you want. If you don't like the web, you can keep the web out. You could also do some cool lettering in the web and have it say Happy Halloween, or you could do some sort of Halloween thing over here. Again, make it how you like. I kind of put all the items close enough together that I'm only seeing the vine at the top. There's a little bit of vine here where my crow is. That is a crow, by the way. Crows don't look like crows till you color them black. So I do have some of the vine showing here, but if you end up with space between your items, I would just add some of this vine in between those spaces. So it kind of looks like everything is actually mounted on the wreath. I will also load this into the group afterwards. So for anyone who wants to color it, you can do that. Again, I'm going to use watercolor paper and watercolor pens today. Just thought it would kind of look cool to color it in that way. So I am going to start with that circle. Let me try and... My son comes in and uses this computer now every once in a while, and then he moves my camera around, so I feel like I'm always adjusting my camera. So I'm going to put that circle on my page. Oh, hi, Jen. Yeah, I really like this one. I think that along with the lines of the one we did last time, this is something that would actually look really, really cute in a frame and just something that you bring out each year as a holiday decoration. So I'm going to start because I don't really need anything perfectly centered. It works out that things do a little bit, but I'm just going to kind of start over here on the side with my ghost. So I'm going to have a curve line that comes in towards my circle and humps over and then goes back out. So these are going to be my little ghost arms. This is his head. So I'll close this off, a little hot dog tip. Close this off, little hot dog tip. And then with the bottom of the ghost, I'm just going to fan out and back in like I'm doing kind of a squared off shape. Now the details on the bottom, like if I'm going to make it look wavy, I don't want to do that yet because I'm going to draw something on top of this. So I don't need to put the details till I know how much of the bottom of my ghost is showing. So I'm going to put a coffin, and I'm going to have the coffin kind of somewhat covering the ghost. So for my coffin, I'm doing a line right about here. I kind of want the coffin coming down this way. And then I'm going to angle out on the sides. So angle out this way, angle out this way. And you want these endpoints even with each other. And then you're going to angle back in, and it gets narrow at the bottom. Change that a little bit, make it a little bit wider. And then you just close it off. And now everything inside of this coffin you can erase. Now, I wanted a coffin that looked more wooden, like it was, made of wood and then nailed closed with pieces of wood. So I'm going to do these kind of diagonal stripes. I'll put one this way. I'll put one this way. Another one here. And that's good. Now within these diagonal stripes, I want to show the nails. So I'm going to do little circles at the end of each piece. And that way it looks like it's nailed closed with wood. And then I want my coffin to be made of wood too. So I'm going to put lines coming down through the coffin. And I'm, of course, hopping the wood lines that go across. Just like that. And then I have this little coffin shape. Now with this ghost, if you want to add like a little bit more and have like the little fold line in there, you can put that in, or you can leave it as is. Little circles for eyes and a big boo mouth. Now down here, coming from kind of behind the coffin, I'm going to do a pumpkin shape. So I'm going to draw kind of that oval, circular shape. And it's going behind the pumpkin. And again, I like to always start with this shape, and then what I do is I'll do that curved line inside, have it come out a little bit, because I do like showing that, you know, look of the pumpkin where it's kind of getting different shapes at the bottom. And then I'll put one in there that comes out a little, one here that comes out a little bit further, and then this one will end. And you can erase all these little lines. Some of it I'll just erase when I go through with my pen. I'm going to put a little triangle at the top here for the stem, and I'm going to put a little bit of the back side of the pumpkin showing. So I'm just doing a little line on each side. And I like having that little curly Q. Now I really love the hockey mask, so I'm going to keep that on my drawing. So I'm going to draw kind of just an oval shape that goes over my pumpkin. I want it a little bit bigger than I made it. I'll erase all the pumpkin that's inside. And then for that hockey mask, we want 2 circles at a slight angle. And those will just get colored black. And then we have, I need to sharpen my pencil. It's getting dull and I can't do those like fine points. I can't find my good sharpener either. Oh, there it is. It's hiding behind my pencils. There we go. Now I have a nice sharp point. So above the eyes, there are these 2 little triangle shapes. And those are red. That's the part that gets colored red. And then there's 2 right here on the cheeks also. One there. One there. And then we just need to do those dots. So we're going to put dots going across and up. Dots for the nostrils. A little cluster of 3 right here. A curved row of them. And these just get colored in black, so you don't have to worry about them being perfect. I have a little row going down. And then I have another cluster of 3 down here by the cheeks. And there's my creepy little hockey mask. Now I ended up again kind of right by the center, so I'm going to put the middle of my drawing, I'm going to have a rectangle. That's coming out from the mask. I'll erase the line that's inside. And I want this to say keep out, but some of that letter K is being covered by the mask. Now you could write something else on here. You know, it would be fun to write one of the creepy camp names or the lake names from the movies. When I do this in pen, I'm going to make these ends like more jagged. So again, it kind of has a look like it's made of wood. And the next thing I'm going to do actually is my bird, and then I'll put some filler around the bird. So for the bird, we're just going to do like a hot dog tip that comes out a little bit and back. I'm going to make this a little bit higher. Because again, what I want to think about here is that this is going to be some vine that the bird is sitting on. So I'm going to come up even more than I had it. So I'm almost drawing like, what would I call this? Like a little bit the shape of a gourd for starters. You'll put a little line inside for that beak that curves out and comes back in. And an eye, a black eye. Now here you can have the little legs sticking down, so just do two little, and I might put little bird feet. So can you see that? I'll zoom in on that a little bit. Now, but I need that tail feather. That's really what makes this the bird. So I'm going to take this line from the back of the head and I'm going to curve out and then kind of zigzag back in for feathers. This a little bit wider back here. I'll just add another feather in. You can kind of erase all of this mess inside. And again, this will look more like a crow when you color it black. When it's not black, it just looks like, I don't know, a generic bird. I'm going to do some little lines in here for the feathers, some little lines across the chest. Even though it's all going to get colored in black, we'll see some of that detail show through. And then now that I have this in place, I'm going to put an eyeball right here that comes just to the edge of my bird, but it's going over my sign some. And inside of that eyeball, we'll put another circle and a smaller one in the center. This bird I want on some of that vine, so I'm just going to add an extra little line down below the original line. And I'll have that coming out the other side too. And then I'll put another eyeball right here. Again, circle, circle inside. And then so this looks like vine. I'm going to do some little vines off of it. So I'll put some over here, little twigs. Maybe down here we just have some twig coming off. So that way you get a little bit of that vine look. Now in this space, I'm going to do a witch's hat. So I'm going to have it coming from behind the eye. And it's going to come out to a point, curve back in. And then from this side, that same point, curve back in. And then I'm going to have this side coming pretty much straight up. But I'm going to do a real curly Q in. So I'm going to curl it, make a point, and then bring it back around. And then it's going to connect to the other side of the hat. I'm going to make a little adjustment line. There we go. I like that shape better. So I'll erase this original. Sometimes you might do that, you know, you kind of put the side of the hat and then you realize, oh, I don't like that. It doesn't look very even. Then you just make a little subtle change like that. And then you end up, you know, you should have, it doesn't matter how this looks, like my hat's leaning this way. So these two sides are going to look very different, but these bottoms should match pretty closely in size and in space between the side and where the hat begins. I'm going to draw a big rectangle on the inside for a buckle. I'm going to do a big oversized buckle in this hat. And put the two little lines out to the side for the ribbon that's going through the buckle. Next up, let's do a skull. So just kind of start off with an oval, let's say. And then you can just kind of make adjustments to it. Like if you need to make it wider at the top or narrower at the bottom, whatever's going to give you that look that you feel, you know, like it looks more like a head. So ideally, I want this bottom is a little bit more narrow than my top. Maybe I'll cut this in just a little bit, flatten it out a little up at the top. That'll give it a wider look too. I'm going to do those eye shapes, which aren't perfectly round. I'm kind of doing like an upside down, really curved triangle. I'm going to do a little line for the nose. It's going to come out on both sides and then curve around and connect for that hollowed out nose cavity. And then for the mouth, what I would start with is just start with a line that comes in on each side in the same space. And then draw a little rectangle below. And now this is going to be the teeth, so you can put little teeth lines. And then we would have another line that comes in and down. And connect it around. And then I'll do another little row right here, and it'll have teeth right here. So all of this space in between will get colored black, and that's kind of the hinge of the jaw with a skeleton. And I want my skeleton to actually have like kind of the crossbones, but I don't want it to cover the hat. So they're actually going to be behind the hat. So I'm going to have one over on this side. So I would start with like a little bird shape, the little top of a heart maybe, and bring this in towards the skeleton, and then this side in because it's wider here and narrower here. And then you would imagine this little crossbone would come through and it would be picked up on the other side. And you can do that same little bird shape on the end and then bring your bone up. So there's one of them. Now the other one we would see over off this way. So I'm going to have a bone that comes up. Let's do that little M shape. And down. And then I'd have it coming through on this side. So I'm just seeing part of that crossbow. Crossbone, I guess you'd say. And then I'm going to have a potion bottle. And so this potion bottle, I'm going to do a curved line down here on the bottom. I'm going to angle up at each side. And then I'll curve it in. Oh, I'm off the page. Off the camera, I mean. On my page, off the camera. We'll do a little neck at the top of our bottle. And we're going to close it off with an oval at the top. And I like to put a cork in it. So I'll do a little extra piece up here at the top, which will be the cork. And I like to see some of that cork down in the bottom. Now you could do anything you want with this. You could fill it with potion. You could have it full of eyeballs. You can kind of fill your thing with, you could have a bunch of spiders inside. I'm just going to do mine as a potion jar. So I will do 2 lines across. I'm just going to write the word potion. And then I'll do a little wavy line for the potion in the jar. And I'm almost done. The last thing I want to draw, I'm actually going to pull out the page too to get it better, is I do want to have like a weapon. I want to have a knife, that standard Halloween kitchen knife. So I'm going to do a line that goes all the way over to my potion jar. From this point, it's going to angle down and back in. And then you'll do the handle. And right where you made that handle, you'll put a line for the handle and do some little circles in that line, because that's how those knives are held together. They're held together by little nails of sort. And I'm going to put a little wavy bloodline on my knife. You could have yours dripping, or you could leave the knife off. Again, all of these things are kind of left to your own interpretation. So you can do the same ones I'm doing, or you can do something totally different. Now I want, again, this vine action happening. So I am going to make a line that comes all the way over to the blade to add some thickness to this right here. And we would see some of it on this underside of the blade. And then you just start doing your vines. So you're just doing these really pointy shapes here and there, coming off. I just start with like single points, but you're going to see in a second I'm going to add a bunch more. Maybe from this side, there's some coming this way. Now, off of these vines, I'm going to add more vine. So I'll do some other little branches off of these. Not every single one. Some of them I want to keep just a single. Sometimes off of these, I'll do another, and maybe it's just a twig. I'll have these little twig lines. Maybe this one has one there and one there. Right here we'll have one. A little twig line. And that looks good. Now you're ready to outline. So when I'm outlining this twig section, I'll show you that where I made these, watch what I do. I'm going to take my pen and I'm going to go up into the twig and then down to the branch. And then up into the twig and down to the branch. And then maybe here it closes because this one's coming from the other way. I'll do these bottoms. So basically what I'm doing is instead of dividing those twigs and making them like a separate piece, I'm connecting them to the actual branch. Just the little stick ones, they will just kind of come out on their own. I'll do the same here. So I'm going to go along the line, come out into that little twig, this little twig, back in, do this one. And then you end up with those little twig shapes. Got my ghost. A little bit of wavy at the bottom, color in those eyes, color in that mouth. Oh, I didn't do the spider web yet. Okay, I'll do the spider web. Thank you, sorry. I'm going to keep outlining this and then I'll put that spider web in. I'm going to make those little nail circles black too. You could do them in like a silver color or a gray color too if you wanted them to look more like a nail. I'm just black. Black will work for me. I'm going to color that in brown. So see, same thing when I do this pumpkin. I'm going to do each of these little wedges separately, so that way you see some difference between them. However, on this side, they're kind of going behind the hockey mask now, so you'll only see part of it. This would be really cool to do, and this is another one that's a great Halloween card, but this would also be very cool to do and just do villains. So just do your scary movie people, but just their faces. So like we did the hockey mask, and you could just have the whole thing be all of your different creepy Halloween characters. You can see all these little dots. I'm just coloring them in. The eye holes will be colored in black also. And this sign, like I said, I'm going to make it rough and zigzaggy on the edges. A Nightmare Before Christmas one would be awesome, Terry. Yeah. There's so many good characters in that, just that one movie. And, you know, it really wouldn't be that hard if you're just doing just the faces. It could be really, really cool. Color that beak in black. I'm going to color the bird in black as well, of course, but I'm going to do that in with the watercolor marker, so it looks a little bit different, not just solidly black. Put those little feet. He's standing on a branch with a little twig. We've got one over here. Oh, see, I just put the hat on top of the skeleton. Oh, well. He'll be in the background then. So see, I did have my skeleton in front of my hat, but I put that line in. So now I'm just going to do the outer part of the skull just until I reach the hat. So now some of his head is behind. And I'm coloring all this space in black, this empty jaw open area. And the nose. And the eyes. You have to decide which one of your bones is on the front. So for me, it's going to be this one right here, the one that I see more of. Almost done, and then we'll get that spider web drawn. And you could definitely leave more space between items and have more of that, twig branch showing if you like. Your items don't have to be so bunched together. Put a cork in it. And then I'm going to do that blade. I'll color those little dots in. I've got a little bit of vine work going here. Little blood line on my knife. Okay, so for the spider web, you are going to put down a line that connects from just top to bottom. So you'll put one line in that goes all the way through, like so. And then I'm going to have one web. There's going to be a big gap on one side. So this one, I'm going to have another coming up. And all parts of the web connect from this center point. So I'll do one that goes up this way. I'll put another one that comes down this way. And then I'll do one more that comes this way. So that's the start of the web. So now you would imagine you'd have, this web would be coming back here. So you'd have a line that starts here. I'm going to have sometimes the lines are going to droop down and sometimes they're going to bow out. This is a space that's going to bow out. So I'm going to droop down. I'm going to droop down and connect these two. I'm going to droop and connect these two. And then this is the side where the web is just hanging. It has a big open space. So then it comes around to there. And then now I'm going to bow out. It's hanging a different direction and out, and it's going behind that casket. So that's my first. And then I will do it again. Bow. Drop down, come around, maybe it gets really close, bows down, and connects to that line. And let's do a close one here. Here, comes around, here, here. I think I want one more in the center. Curve, curve, curve. This one curves out. Curves out. Curves out. Just like that. So it almost looks like the spider web got broken some here and it's just hanging. Like it had another attachment, but it broke off. And then from in here, anywhere, you could do it right from the center. You could have it off to the side. You're going to draw a line coming down. You're going to draw an oval and 4 little bent legs on each side. And that's your spider web. So now you just do that in pen. I almost was going to just go for it and do it in pen, but I was afraid I'd mess it up. I think I would have done just fine. If you wanted your spider web to look more perfect, like it wasn't sagging on one side, you would actually add another line in, so add another connectivity point, and then all of your curves would kind of curve downward instead of how some curve down and some bow out. I just kind of like that look of that disheveled web. I'm not like too really afraid of spiders. It's not like I like them, but I'm not really afraid of them, but I really, really love their webs. I think they're so beautiful. We had a big garden spider this summer who made a web in our backyard, and I just loved it. I couldn't tear it down because it's just, they're very pretty to look at. And then, you know, if it gets a little damp out and they get that moisture on them, they're just a thing of art, really. It's amazing that that little creature can do that. And like I said, you could go even very like Charlotte's Web-ish and put yourself a little message inside of your spider web. And that is my wreath. So now I've got to erase and then I can get to coloring. The coloring for this is going to be pretty simple. You know, I have a couple items on here that are just white. They might have a small accent of color, but this isn't going to have a whole lot of colors going on. I'll put some color in that potion bottle and some color in the witch's hat, so it won't be just black, but this actually kind of looks cool even without color. Let's get all that eraser off. Okay, I think I am almost done. Watercolor paper smudges pencil so much more, so some of my erasing is just getting off the weird places that pencil smudged on it. Okay, so let me get these out. So we'll color this and then we will do our drawing for whoever won the the Nanny Village contest. Okay, so I'm going to start with red. And on the mask, there is red in these little triangles. Now you could also do some spots like blood spatter if you want to make it a little more graphic. You could do that. I'm going to put little squiggly red lines for eyes on my eyes. I'm going to put red on this knife blade. You could even have some like dripping off, you know, you always can make it a little more gory if you're into that. And let's get an orange for my pumpkin. I thought it would be fun to do these watercolor pens just because it'll make it real bright. Oh yeah, great pumpkin drawing. We can definitely do that. In fact, we will be doing that. We're probably going to do that next week, the week of Halloween. Come in with this water a little bit and just add some texture into the pumpkin. And I want some brown for that coffin and also for the stem of my pumpkin. These are really fun to play with. If you guys haven't tried these yet, I do recommend them. And they're not very expensive. It's under $20 for the set of the markers. And yeah, it's just kind of a fun change sometimes from doing, you know, always pencil, or maybe you always work in pen anyway. And I'm going to come in again with that watercolor marker. And so basically when you get these, you have your colors and then you have this pen of just water. And it lets you kind of watercolor things, so you can kind of add a little texture, add a little lightness to certain areas, make other areas darker. Yes, we just talked about that last night, Lisa. We just talked about it. Yeah, Apple bought the rights, so it's on Apple, but you can't watch it. They're not streaming it on regular TV anymore, which is a bummer. I mean, we have Apple, so it's fine, but a lot of people don't, and that's always been like a staple, right? You watch the Christmas tree peanuts and the Great Pumpkin. It's like kind of ridiculous. I'm going to come in too with a black and just do some thin little like texture marks, you know, like you'd see in wood. So I'll do some horizontally in these pieces that go up and down, just here and there. And then I'll do some, I meant vertically, this is horizontal. You know what I'm saying. And that just gives a little bit of texture in there. My ghost is going to stay white. My keep out sign, I think I'm going to do more of a gray. Yeah, it is like, I'm surprised that they've done that, but I'm not. Everything is about getting you to pay more money. It really seems like all it is anymore. Who can get the most money out of you? And I bet they had a huge bidding war. Yep, buy the DVD, exactly. Now on screen, you probably can't see the like keep out as much. That's why I'm trying to lighten it up a little bit with this watercolor, water pen. And what I do is this kind of will pick up the color and lighten it, and then I just wipe it on my leg. And I clean it off of my leg afterwards. And there, now I can see it. I don't know if you can, but I can. And I want to make my eyes 2 different colors. So I'm going to do one of them green. And one of them blue.
Why did you turn it on?
Had a kid interruption. And I'm going to put this an orange also. I'll do that hat a purple. And I think I'll do the ribbon black. angle my paper. How's everybody doing with theirs? Did you guys add anything different or change anything up when you did yours? Did you write any messages in it? Added a few things. Oh, and that's fun. Nimbus on a broom. Yeah, you can kind of make this like as creepy or as non-creepy as you want. I mean, you could really not make it creepy at all and just still have kind of Halloween-esque things. Maybe you really just like witches, so you could focus more on the witch factor and do multiple hats. Okay, where did the black go? There it is. Okay. So I'm going to put black in here. You could even put like little stars on the witch's hat, add some decoration to that, or have a spider hanging from the edge of the witch's hat. And then this is going to get black, and it's really going to take all the detail out, but I will hit it a little bit with that watercolor thing just to lighten up certain areas, give it a little bit of dimension. But, you know, it's supposed to be a crow, and they just really look black. So once you start coloring them in, again, I'll just come in a little bit with this. Like, I don't know how much it's going to lighten it up or if it's going to change much at all, but maybe it'll give me a little definition in the wing area. Added an owl, broom, candle. Oh, and a frog. So yours almost is more. That makes me think more witch themed. All right, that's about as good as it's going to get. I'm not going to get much detail out of that. I want my potion to be a really neon green. And maybe add just a little bit of a darker green like here and there. Towards the bottom like it's settled. blue in this potion bottle. So it looks more like glass. Are there people here who entered the contest who are waiting to see if they won? It's a pretty good prize package, I gotta say. Super awesome of Nanny Village to do that and work with me on that. Let's get a little bit of brown in the cork. Now with these branches, you can kind of do what you like with them. I'm going to make mine brown. You can do them brown. You can color them in really dark, like a dark black, like it just looks more shadowed than anything. And I'm not going to color them solidly in. I'm going to leave a little bit of white showing. I just kind of like how that looks, and I think it adds some depth and some texture to the drawing to not have them completely solid. No one here entered the contest? Maybe everyone who entered the contest came on at the beginning and said, nope. And let's see, I still just need to do that blade. This gray is pretty dark, so I'm going to leave some space and then I'll fix it with the watercolor. Blend it out. Oh, it made the blood move. I kind of like it. And what color to do that handle? I think I'll just do it the same gray, but keep it dark. All right, and that is it. That is our little Halloween wreath. I will upload the uncolored one to the page after we're done. And I am going to do, doesn't sound like anyone's here who entered the contest unless you guys are all just really focused on your drawing. But I'm going to do it live on here so that way it shows that I picked at random. Let me just get this mess I have going here slightly cleaned up. You're gonna have some jostling of the camera. Okay, let's come over here. I'm gonna flip you guys back around. Okay, hi. I'm gonna flip you again, but I figured you didn't have to look at my whole computer screen for a second. So what we're gonna do here is I have this wheel of names For everybody that was entered, all the names got pushed, and then it says tap to spin. So there it goes. Who's gonna win? Who's gonna win? Ruth, and I know Ruth, yay! Ah, congrats. Ruth, you won all the prizes. I will tag her in the comments. So thanks everybody, happy drawing. Don't forget to post your pictures. You can post them straight to the group. You can post them on Instagram. You can post them in an album, whatever works for you. I just really love to see your art. I love to see all those little adjustments you make. I hope you guys have an awesome rest of the week, and I'll see you again on Friday. We may or may not be doing a doodle page. I'm a little bit out of ideas as far as fall Halloween themed doodle pages, so it might just be a standard drawing on Friday, but it will be in pen. So I will see you guys on Friday. Bye. Happy drawing.